important, especially at your stage. If your idea doesn't get funding, or if you don't think you're going to get funding, you don't need funding. What you need is other entrepreneurs. Like the way you scale when you don't have money is by partnerships. And this is what people don't realize.
I think you probably like, instead of going towards like the funding, why not like do some collaborations and get the name out?
Perfect. So, that's exactly how I grew. Like I wouldn't be here today if I didn't actually utilize the people around me. If I said, I'm never going to start because I need £1 million, I would have never got anywhere. But if you go and use the people around you, if you go on, even not just businesses, but literally people, because everybody's got something in them that they're actually good at. You know, whether it's, Jacob here, he's doing like, videoing, right? Cool. Be like, yo, Jacob, could you help me out? I don't know what you're good at, but whether it's speaking, stuff like this, say, how can we benefit from each other? What's the value trade-off? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you can use that to scale. If you can scale with the people around you, do it. And in 99% of the cases, you genuinely can. You can go to your fellow entrepreneur who's at the same size or maybe a bit larger than you and say, okay, how can we benefit from each other? And don't be scared to give away value. Give away as much value as possible. I promise you, it will come back to you. It will come back to you.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the reason why failure scares a lot of people is that we think of it on a macro level, like, oh my God, I'm going to lose the money that I invested, I'm going to lose the capital, I'm going to lose the business. But no, you fail every day without realizing. And if you can learn to look at it on a micro level of, okay, I failed, like, I didn't get up out of bed at 6 a.m. like I said I was going to get up out of bed. That's a failure, okay? What can I do tomorrow to learn from it? Do you get what I mean? And I think if we take a micro look at it instead of a macro, oh, my business is going to fail. And that can happen, but you fail more on a micro level than you ever will on a macro level, in my opinion, right? Yeah. You fail on the little things. And if you fail forward, which means, failing and then, learning and moving forward, then those macro failures won't seem as much of a big deal. When people drill down into it, there's, a service or a product, and there's, what I'm going to buy. Me as a customer, there's a product and a service that I want to buy. Cool. In my opinion, the sustainable stuff, that's your packaging, right? But what's your product? What's your real service? Do you get what I mean? And a lot of people are very good at the packaging, the outside stuff, the sustainable and everything is 100% carbon neutral. But when we drill down into what your product is, we see that it's nothing. We see that it's actually, it's BS, right? It's, and that's why I say a lot of businesses are going to fall off this bandwagon of sustainable development. What really annoys me is these bigger companies. I think the bigger companies are setting the trends. I was walking the other day and I saw an ad for butter by one of these like big companies. I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but like Flora, or like one of these big butter companies. And they said they were advertising a new product, and they said you move away from the old style of butter. This is the new butter, something along those lines, right? And it's vegan butter, not made from cows. I think the exact words were the same butter, but without the awkward cow part. So they're saying that they don't milk cows to get whatever. So it's completely vegan or whatever. And I was thinking to myself that if they were just telling us, okay, this is an alternative to the product that we already have, that's fine, cool. But what they're saying is that they want us to move away from the traditional butter to what they have now. But the problem is, 5 minutes, cool. But the problem is, 90% of these guys' revenue comes from traditional butter. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's that hypocrisy of you are telling us to move away from traditional but you yourself, the most money that you're making is coming. And sure, it might eventually come from the vegan butter, but you can't. If you really want to do it, fine. Say every product that we're selling now is going to come from this vegan. Yeah,
exactly.
One advice, like I was saying earlier, I could probably say, the basic stuff, like, work hard or do your research or pick a product.
Basic things that
but these things already. Entrepreneurs know that they need to do that stuff. I think the one thing that I can say that maybe differs from what you usually hear is that you need to be able to sow seeds, right? As an entrepreneur, you need to be able to plant seeds in different places, right? Because a lot of entrepreneurs nowadays, they think that their business is going to come from this big vision that they have in their head, and, like I was saying, the vision that Steve Jobs had when he started is probably not what Apple is today.